Chapter 22, Part 2. All morning they followed the trail through the beechwood and then through a spruce forest, turning northeast and steadily climbing. As always, Renn was unsettled by Torac's skill at tracking. He seemed to go into a trance, scanning the land with endless patience and often finding some tiny sign that most full-grown hunters would have missed. It was mid-afternoon and the light was beginning to fail when he stopped. "What is it?" asked Renn. "Shh! I thought I heard something." He cupped his hand to his ear. "There, do you hear it?" She shook her head. His face broke into a grin. "It's Wolf!" "Are you sure?" "I'd know his howl anywhere. Come on, he's up that way." He pointed east. Renn's heart sank. "Oh, not east," she thought. "Please, not east." As Torac followed the sound, the ground got stonier and the trees shrank to waist-high birch and willow. "Are you sure he's here?" said Renn. "If we keep going, we'll end up on the fells." Torac hadn't heard her. He was running ahead. He disappeared behind a boulder, and a few moments later she heard him excitedly yelling her name. She raced up the slope and rounded the boulder into the teeth of an icy north wind. She staggered back. They had reached the very edge of the forest, the edge of the fells. Before her stretched a vast treeless waste, where heather and dwarf willow hugged the ground in a vain attempt to avoid the wind, where small peat-brown lakes shivered amid tossing marsh grass. Far in the distance, a treacherous scree slope towered above the fells, and above it rose the high mountains. But between the scree slope and the mountains, glimpsed only as a white glitter, lay what Renn had been dreading. Torac, of course, was unaware of all that. "Renn!" he shouted, the wind whipping his voice away. "Over here!" Dragging her gaze back, she saw that he was kneeling on the bank of a narrow stream. Wolf lay beside him, eyes closed, the raven-skin pouch still at his head. "He's alive!" cried Torac, burying his face in the grey wet fur. Wolf opened one eye and feebly thumped his tail. Renn stumbled through the heather towards them. "He's exhausted," said Torac without looking up, "and soaking wet. He's been running in the stream to throw the bear off the scent. That was clever, wasn't it?" Renn glanced around fearfully. "But did it work?" "Oh yes," said Torac. "Look at all the marsh pipits. They wouldn't be here if the bear was near." Wishing she could share his confidence, Renn knelt and fumbled in her pack for a salmon cake to give to Wolf. She was rewarded with another, slightly stronger tail thump. It was wonderful to see Wolf again, but she felt oddly cut off. Too much else was crowding in on her, too much that Torac didn't know about. She picked up the raven-skin pouch and loosened its neck to check inside. The river eyes were still in their nest of rowan leaves. "Yes, take it," said Torac, lifting Wolf in his arms and laying him gently on a patch of soft marsh grass. "We need to hide it from the bear right away." Renn untied the rowan bark box that held the stone tooth and tipped in the river eyes. Then she refastened the box, put it back in the pouch and tied it to her belt. "He'll be all right now," said Torac, stooping to give the cub's muzzle an affectionate lick. "We can make a shelter over there in the lee of that slope. Build a fire. Let him rest." "Not here," said Renn quickly. "We should get back to the forest." Out on the windswept fell she felt exposed, like a caterpillar dangling on a thread. "Better if we stay here," said Torac. He pointed north towards the scree slope and the white glitter. "That's the fastest way to the mountain." Renn's belly tightened. What? What are you talking about?" "Wolf told me. That's where we've got to go." "But we can't go up there." "Why not?" "Because that's the ice river." Torok and Wolf looked at her in surprise, and she found herself facing 2 pairs of wolf eyes, one amber, one light grey. It made her feel very left out. "But Renn," said Torok impatiently, "that's the shortest way to the mountain." "I don't care." She tried to think up some reason that he'd accept. "We've still got to find the 3rd piece of the Nanook, remember? Coldest of all, the darkest light. We're not going to find it up there, are we? It'll be cold, all right, but there's nothing up there, nothing but death," she added to herself. "You saw the red eye last night," said Torok. "It's getting higher. We've only got a few days." "Aren't you listening?" she shouted. "We cannot cross the ice river." "Yes, we can," he replied with terrifying calm. "We'll find a way." "How? We've got 1 water skin and 4 arrows between us. 4 arrows! And winter's coming, and you've only got summer clothes." He looked at her thoughtfully. "That's not why you don't want to go up there." She leapt to her feet and stalked off, then marched back again. She said, "My father died on an ice river, just like that one." The wind hissed sadly over the fells. Torok looked down at Wolf, then back to her. "It was a snowfall," she said. "He was on the ice river beyond Lake Axed. Half an ice cliff came down on him. They only found his body in the spring. Sayan had to do a special rite to get his souls together." "I'm sorry," said Torok. "I'm not telling you so that you'll be sorry for me," she cut in. "I'm telling you so that you'll understand. He was a strong, experienced hunter who knew the mountains, and still the ice river killed him. What hope, what chance do you think we'd have?" Well, we'll probably find out in the next chapter. Bye-bye.